The Lagos night air was thick with smoke, the scent of roasted plantain and peppered fish drifting above shouting traders and impatient bus conductors. Sarah clutched her handbag tightly, weaving through the noisy Alaba market. Her stomach grumbled, guided only by the irresistible aroma calling her closer. Michael's stall glowed under a dim lantern. The fish sizzled, plantain glistened golden brown, customers laughed, and children danced, waiting for their favorite trusted vendor's delicacy. Sarah smiled as she approached. Everyone loved this stall, the taste, the laughter, the welcoming charm. Tonight, she too would enjoy Michael's roasted delight. Yet, something strange caught her eyes. A rusted bucket behind the stall, half hidden by smoke. Michael's hand twitched nervously each time anyone looked. Sarah ignored the unease and reached for her food. But what she would soon discover that night would change everything about roasted plantain forever. Michael, the vendor, was everyone's favorite. From mechanics to bankers, they all trusted his food. His laughter carried across the market like music. Women praised his kindness. Children adored him for free plantain slices. Traders swore his roasted fish cured hunger faster than any restaurant meal could. His stall never lacked customers. The charcoal fire never died. Even newcomers were drawn instantly by the irresistible smoky aroma covering every corner. Sarah admired his spotless apron, confident smile, and steady hands. He looked like a man who valued hygiene, reputation, and the community's love. "Nobody cooks like Michael," shouted a mechanic. Customers nodded. His food wasn't just a meal, it was tradition, a trusted bond in a busy city. But behind that glowing reputation, something darker lingered, a secret hidden in plain sight, waiting to erupt. And when it did, nobody was ready. 2 days later, Daniel, Sarah's colleague, complained of sharp stomach cramps after lunch. His face grew pale, and sweat dripped endlessly down his shirt. He whispered, "I ate roasted plantain and fish from Michael's stall." Minutes later, his body trembled violently, collapsing before shocked coworkers in the office. Sarah screamed for help. Chairs scattered, phones dropped. A rush of footsteps carried Daniel into a waiting car heading straight to the nearby hospital. Doctors worked quickly. Saline drips, oxygen tubes, urgent instructions. Sarah stood frozen, clutching her handbag, praying desperately for her friend's survival inside the cold ward. Finally, a doctor stepped out, removing his gloves slowly. His eyes carried the weight of bad news. "Severe food poisoning," he whispered gravely. Sarah's heart pounded, but Daniel wasn't the only one. Across Lagos, more customers who ate Michael's roasted fish and plantain were falling dangerously ill, one by one. By morning, the market buzzed with fearful whispers. Grace, a pregnant woman, collapsed near the gate after eating roasted fish from Michael's stall. Traders panicked. Some shouted prayers, others rushed her to the clinic. Her faint voice kept repeating, "It was Michael's fish, Michael's fish," before silence. Rumors spread like wildfire. Mechanics abandoned his stall. Mothers clutched their children. But die-hard customers argued, "Enemies want to spoil his business. Michael food cannot kill anybody." Michael stood boldly, fire blazing, apron clean. He roasted louder, laughing harder. "My food is safe. Don't mind jealousy, people," he shouted over the crowd. Yet behind his smile, Sarah noticed restless eyes. Each question about his cooking drew defensive anger. His hams shook slightly when he flipped the plantains. Authorities began circling the market, asking questions. Customers grew divided, fear mixing with loyalty. But what investigators uncovered later would shatter everything they thought they knew. Sarah couldn't sleep that night. Every bite of roasted plantain replayed in her mind, mixed with Daniel's collapse and Grace's sudden fainting. Something felt wrong. She remembered the bucket hidden behind Michael's stall, the way he always shifted nervously whenever someone's eyes wandered close to that rusted container. Why did he guard it so fiercely? Why did no one ever see him refill water or prepare seasoning openly like other vendors? Sarah's heart raced. Was Michael hiding something inside? Or was it just her imagination running wild, fueled by rumors and the smell of roasted fish? Determined, she told herself, "Tomorrow, I'll watch closely. If there's a secret behind that bucket, I'll find it." Her curiosity burned stronger than fear. Little did Sarah know, her search for answers would lead her into a nightmare darker than anything she had ever imagined in her life. The next morning, market officers stormed Alaba with stern faces. Their presence scattered traders. Michael's stall, once buzzing, suddenly grew tense and strangely quiet. "We received complaints," one officer announced firmly. "Food poisoning cases linked to this stall." He pointed at Michael, who wiped sweat nervously from his forehead. Customers gathered around, whispering anxiously. Some defended him loudly, others demanded answers. Sarah stayed hidden, eyes fixed on the mysterious bucket behind Michael's glowing charcoal stand. The officers lifted the lid. A foul stench hit the air. Flies burst upward. The crowd gasped, covering noses. Michael shouted, "It's nothing dangerous." The officers sealed his stall temporarily. They carried the bucket away for testing. Michael pleaded, swearing innocence, but suspicion was already choking the marketplace atmosphere. Sarah's heartbeat quickened. She had seen only a glimpse, dark liquid, strange floating shapes, but something told her the truth inside was far worse. Michael shouted angrily, "It's just wastewater, nothing serious." His voice cracked. Sweat rolled. Customers exchanged doubtful glances, whispering behind trembling hands. Some loyal customers defended him. "Michael cannot harm us." But others shook their heads. "Too many sick people. Something is not right here." The authorities promised laboratory results soon. Until then, Michael's stall remained closed. The market buzzed with rumors, fear, and anger mixed with undying loyalty. That night, Sarah passed by the empty stall. She noticed Michael standing there silently, staring at the sealed tape, muttering words only he understood. A chill ran through her body. Something about his eyes looked dangerous, almost predatory. He wasn't worried about being caught. He was worried about exposure. Sarah clenched her fists. She would return secretly. If nobody else uncovered the truth, she would. But what she discovered would change everything. Midnight fell over Alaba. The market slept, silent except for stray dogs barking distantly. Sarah crept through narrow alleys, her torchlight trembling nervously. She reached Michael's stall. The sealed tape was gone. Her breath caught. Someone had already broken inside. Her heartbeat pounded like a drum. Then she saw him, Michael, dragging a heavy sack. He whistled softly, looking around before crouching near the hidden bucket behind his stall. Sarah ducked behind a wooden crate, barely breathing. Michael untied the sack. A sickening stench filled the air, stronger than anything she'd smelled before. He poured strange liquid into the bucket. Sarah gasped as lifeless rats floated inside, their bloated bodies soaking, mixing with dark, slimy water. Michael stirred the mixture casually, then dipped fish into it. Sarah's stomach turned. The truth was worse than rumors. Something unthinkable was happening here. Sarah's gasp betrayed her hiding spot. Michael's head snapped around. His eyes, no longer friendly, glowed cold and dangerous under the dim lantern light. "So you've seen it," he hissed. His voice was low, chilling. He stepped closer, wiping rat water from his hands onto his apron. Sarah trembled, but raised her phone, recording everything. "People trusted you, Michael. You poisoned them." Her words cracked, echoing through the empty, dark marketplace. Michael sneered. "They loved my taste. That secret mixture, decayed rats, fermented water, keeps customers addicted. Sweetness has a price, Sarah. They never complained before. Sarah's stomach churned. Betrayal burned hotter than fear. This wasn't food, it was death disguised as delicacy. Every smile Michael wore was built on people's suffering. She pressed record harder, whispering, "The world will see this." Michael lunged forward, but what happened next changed everything, exposing him before the entire community. Michael's lunge was interrupted by a blinding torchlight. Market officers stormed in. Sarah's recording had already gone viral, spreading faster than Lagos morning gossip. Traders gathered angrily, their faces twisted with betrayal. Mothers cried, fathers cursed, children clung to their parents, unable to understand why their hero fell. Officers dragged Michael away in handcuffs. His stall, once golden, now stood cursed, sealed forever as a warning of greed and hidden wickedness. Sarah wept silently. The truth was out, but scars remained. Trust broken in food is trust broken in life, sometimes never restored again. The lesson was clear. Never judge food by aroma alone. Safety, hygiene, and honesty matter more than sweet flavors and smiling vendors' words. Share this story to protect others, because tomorrow, the plate of roasted plantain and fish you buy could hide secrets darker than you can imagine. Thank you for watching this story. Michael's betrayal reminds us, not every sweet aroma hides goodness. Some smiles cover poison. Always be careful what you eat and where you trust your stomach. If this story shook you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it now to protect others. Subscribe for more shocking African stories that open eyes and save lives. Because sometimes the truth behind what we enjoy is darker than we ever imagined.